Charlie Chaplin, born Charles Spencer Chaplin on April 16, 1889, in London, England, is celebrated as one of cinema's most influential figures. His life, shaped by adversity, creativity, and unparalleled success, embodies the power of perseverance and talent. Born into poverty in Walworth, London, Chaplin's early years were marked by hardship. His parents, Charles Chaplin Sr. and Hannah Chaplin, were music hall performers. His father struggled with alcoholism and was often absent, while his mother suffered from mental illness and was institutionalized, leaving young Charlie and his older half-brother Sidney to fend for themselves. Chaplin's childhood was spent in and out of workhouses and orphanages, where he experienced the harsh realities of Victorian London. Yet, despite these challenges, he discovered a passion for performing, finding solace on stage. Encouraged by his mother, who believed in his talent, Chaplin began performing on stage at a young age. He left school at 13 to pursue acting, eventually joining the Fred Carno Company at 19, which brought him to the United States. Chaplin's career breakthrough came in 1913 when film producer Max Sennett recruited him for Keystone Studios in Hollywood. There, Chaplin created his iconic character, the Tramp, a bumbling yet lovable vagrant with a distinctive bowler hat, cane, and toothbrush mustache. The Tramp became a cultural phenomenon, with Chaplin's films earning widespread acclaim for their blend of slapstick comedy and social commentary. Over the next decade, Chaplin became one of the world's most recognizable faces, starring in silent film classics such as The Kid in 1921, The Gold Rush in 1925, and City Lights in 1931. His films often explored themes of poverty, class struggle, and the human condition, earning him praise for combining humor with poignant social insights. In 1919, dissatisfied with the constraints of studio-controlled filmmaking, Chaplin co-founded United Artists with Douglas Fairbanks, Mary Pickford, and D.W. Griffith. This venture allowed actors and directors to control their own financial and artistic interests, growing into a major player in film production and distribution. United Artists was sold to MGM for $350 million in 1981. As the film industry transitioned to sound in the late 1920s, many feared that Chaplin's silent comedy style would become obsolete. Yet, despite his belief that talkies lacked the artistry of silent films, Chaplin embraced the new technology. Modern Times in 1936 featured synchronized sound effects and music, though Chaplin kept his tramp character silent, preserving its essence.
Chaplin the Great returns in Modern Times, a truly great film.
You are looking at scenes from that film classic, Charlie Chaplin's Modern Times.
He composed the music for the film, including the piece Smile, which later became a hit for Nat King Cole in 1954, with lyrics by John Turner and Jeffrey Parsons. In 1940, Chaplin released The Great Dictator, a bold satire of Hitler and fascism, featuring a controversial 5-minute speech against war and tyranny.
Does this remind you of anything? Why, of course you recognized him. It's Adenoid Hinkle, the Phooey of Tomania.
Captain!
I bet you recognized him, too. It's Charlie, the wonderful, the extraordinary Charlie Chaplin. By a strange trick of fate, the ruthless dictator and Charlie resemble each other like two peas in a pod, except that while Adenoid Hinkle makes millions of people tremble, Charlie makes them die of laughter. And now for the other great characters in our story. Benzino Napoloni, the dictator of bacteria. Here is Field Marshal Bismarck Herring, Hinkle's right hand. Herr Garbage, his left hand. And finally, the little barber. And Hannah, the lovely, brave Hannah.
Despite initial resistance to its long speech, the film became a major success, garnering praise from figures like President Franklin D. Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Chaplin was invited to read the speech at Roosevelt's 1941 inauguration. Despite his cinematic achievements, Chaplin's personal life was tumultuous. He married 4 times and faced numerous allegations of infidelity and misconduct. His 4th wife, Una O'Neill, daughter of playwright Eugene O'Neill, was 36 years his junior. They had 8 children and remained married until his death. In the 1940s, Chaplin's outspoken political views and support for socialism made him a target during the Red Scare. In 1952, after accusations of communist sympathies, he was effectively exiled from the United States. Chaplin and his family settled in Switzerland, purchasing a 35-acre estate overlooking Lake Geneva in Corsier-sur-Vevey. In 1953, he surrendered his U.S. re-entry permit, sending Una to manage his affairs and liquidate his assets. Chaplin continued to work in Europe, starting with A King in New York, released in 1957, drawing from his experiences in London and his recent troubles in the U.S. He received numerous accolades throughout his career, including honorary Academy Awards. His autobiography, published in 1964, became a bestseller. His final film, A Countess from Hong Kong, released in 1967, featured Marlon Brando and Sophia Loren. The film also featured an instrumental composition titled This Is My Song, composed by Charlie Chaplin. This song later became a #1 hit for the British singer Petula Clark. In 1972, Chaplin returned to the US for the first time in 20 years to receive an honorary Oscar from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. He received a record 12-minute standing ovation, the longest in the Academy's history. As his health declined in the early 1970s, Chaplin re-released some of his old films, appeared in a documentary about himself, The Gentleman Tramp, and was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II in 1975. Charlie Chaplin passed away in his sleep on Christmas Day 1977 at the age of 88 and was buried in Corsier-sur-Vevey. In March 1978, in a bizarre incident, his coffin was stolen from his grave by thieves who attempted to hold his body for ransom. A massive police operation recovered the coffin 3 months later, buried in a field nearby. It was then reinterred in a reinforced concrete vault. Charlie Chaplin's legacy endures as a testament to his genius as a filmmaker, comedian, and social commentator. His influence extends beyond cinema, impacting culture, politics, and the arts. His work remains relevant, entertaining, and inspiring, demonstrating the power of film as a medium for both humor and social insight.
Life laughs at you when you are unhappy, life smiles at you when you are happy, but life salutes you when you make others happy. My pain may be the reason for somebody's laugh, but my laugh must never be the reason for somebody's pain. You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Nothing in life is permanent, not even one's troubles. The best thing in life is to go ahead with all your plans and your dreams, to embrace life and to live every day with passion, to lose and still keep the faith and to win while being grateful. All of this because the world belongs to those who dare to go after what they want. And because life is really too short to be insignificant. We think too much and feel too little. You'll never find rainbows if you're looking down. To truly laugh, you must be able to take your pain and play with it. It isn't the ups and downs that make life difficult, it's the jerks. A day without laughter is a day wasted. You need power only when you want to do something harmful, otherwise love is enough to get everything done. Your naked body should only belong to those who fall in love with your naked soul. Life is a play that does not allow testing. So, sing, cry, dance, laugh and live intensely before the curtain closes and the piece ends with no applause. The mirror is my best friend because when I cry it never laughs. You have to believe in yourself, that's the secret. I always like walking in the rain, so no one can see me crying. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. In the light of our egos, we are all dethroned monarchs. To help a friend in need is easy, but to give him your time is not always opportune. Failure is unimportant. It takes courage to make a fool of yourself. Anyone can make them cry, but it takes a genius to make them laugh. Man as an individual is a genius. But men in the mass form the headless monster, a great, brutish idiot that goes where prodded. Judge a man not by how he treats his equals, but by how he treats his inferiors. You are only as good as the woman you are standing beside. We must laugh in the face of our helplessness against the forces of nature, or go insane. Tomorrow, the birds will sing. Be brave. Face life. Imagination means nothing without doing. The ability to think, like the violin or piano, requires daily practice. Time is the best author. It always writes the perfect ending. Think about yourself at least once in your life, otherwise you may miss the best comedy in this world. What do you want a meaning for? Life is a desire, not a meaning. As I began to love myself, I stopped craving for a different life, and I could see that everything that surrounded me was inviting me to grow. Today I call it immaturity. The saddest thing I can imagine is to get used to luxury. Simplicity is not a simple thing. There are more valid facts and details in works of art than there are in history books. More than machinery, we need humanity. Life could be wonderful if people would leave you alone.